Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and welcome into Cam Newton's 2020 Fantasy Football Outlook. Now, I already did a video just like this about another player, Austin Eckler, last week, so if you guys would like to check that out as well, it's going to be in a playlist that is going to play at the end of this video, as well as will just be on my channel, so you can go ahead and check that out. So Cam Newton is the player we are going to be talking today, obviously based upon the recent news that he has signed and became a new England Patriots. So before we get into it, I'd like to ask you guys, could please go down below and click that subscribe button. It's free, and I'm going to be producing content every single day to help you guys win your 2020 Fantasy Football Championship. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Cam Newton Fantasy Football Outlook for 2020. So obviously right now, his ADP is unknown. I have no fucking idea where Cam Newton is going to be drafted in these 2020 drafts. He obviously signs a one-year deal with the New England Patriots that is heavily incentive-based. That could be worth up to $7.5 million if he plays up to those incentives. Now, the quarterback room in New England right now is Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham, and Brian Hoyer. They have another guy behind that as well, but those are the main three guys. So what does this do now? Who becomes the starter is pretty much just the huge question. I honestly, initially when I saw this, I thought Jarrett Stidham is going to be thought of as the starter before the season starts because, hey, he's already been there. He's done this. He's done that with the team. While he hasn't been very good for the team, he has played snaps on the New England Patriots starting team, so he obviously has more knowledge on the offense. So there's only two ways this could really go to me. One is the way that I think it is going to go is where we see Cam Newton come in as long as there's training camp and preseason. I think Cam Newton is 100% going to be the starter of the team week one. Now, if there is no training camp, if there is none of these like camps that happen in July and then there's no preseason, I highly doubt Cam Newton is the starter because Bill Belichick would just go with the guy that he knows can play in the system. Now, I honestly think this is what is going to happen, though, is we will see Cam Newton being the starter. I have kind of changed my mind on that. And I think that if Cam Newton is the starter, he may be the most overhyped fantasy asset we may ever see, just because he's on the New England Patriots. So looking at his player profile, obviously this just shows his workout metrics, his height, his weight, all that. So his FFPC ADP right now, as I was recording this at night before you guys are watching this, 256.27. That is like the 50th round of a draft. He is going to be probably a top 8 round pick. He's going to be going around guys like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, which to me is going to make no sense. 6'5". It says free agent, but now he's a New England Patriot. 248 pounds, 31 years old. Obviously the first overall pick out of Auburn all those years ago. His workout metrics are very good for the rushing. He is 95th percentile 40-yard dash with a 4.59. 93rd percentile burst score, 85th percentile agility score, 61st percentile throw velocity, and a 11th percentile Wonderlic score, which really doesn't matter how fucking wicked smart your quarterback is. So his 2019 stats were absolutely fucking atrocious. He only played in 2 games. He got his leg or his foot sprained week 3, and he was sidelined for the whole rest of the season. He had 89 attempts for 50 completions, a 56.7% completion ratio. So nothing like what we've typically seen out of Cam. 572 passing yards, 0 touchdowns and interception. 5 rushes for -2 yards and 0 touchdowns. 8.3 fantasy points per game. So Cam Newton last year was just atrocious. Was this due to the team? No, I do not believe so at all. The team was actually very, very good because Kyle Allen stepped in and was able to perform better than Cam Newton did in those first 2 games. Now, to understand maybe why, it could have been from the injury that lingered in from the 2018 season, where he ended up getting hurt down the stretch at the end of the season. So that could be why. Now, he is rested for God knows how long. He only played in fucking 2 total games, so he's been resting since week 3, which is in like September, so he's had a long time to rest, and a lot of people were reporting, hey, maybe Cam Newton sits it out for the year, he rests. They're showing these videos on Instagram, Cam Newton's typing in his fucking calligraphy font, trying to tell us that he's ready, and no one signs it, but then the Patriots bring him in. So is he going to be ready to play in an NFL game? Personally, I'm not no fucking doctor, but I think he has been out for so long that he just has to be healthy. So look at his 2018 stats, though. It's 2 different sides of Cam Newton. You see Cam Newton play amazing and then get injured, and then last year you see Cam Newton play like shit and then get injured. So finished quarterback number 12 in 2018 in 14 games, 19.9 PPG, points per game, number 8 at quarterback, 3,395 passing yards, 19th at quarterback, 24 passing touchdowns, 4th at quarterback, 13 INTs, 8 at quarterback. So pretty solid pass touchdown to INT ratio for Cam Newton. He's not going to be one of those guys throwing 50 touchdowns, and you should not expect that, but his rushing total is what helps Cam Newton in fantasy football. 101 carries for 7.2 per game, 3rd in the NFL, and his carry number was number 2 in the NFL. He had 488 total rushing yards, 4th in the NFL, 16 red zone carries, 5th in the NFL, and 4 rushing touchdowns, 5th in the NFL. So Bill Belichick likes to do this thing with Tom Brady where he just makes him jump over the line. He just fucking hoists it in there, throws the ball over the plane, and scores a touchdown. So Cam Newton is going to be very good in that situation. So which Cam do we end up seeing in 2020? I personally think we see a Cam Newton that's in the middle of the two. Quarterback 15, quarterback 14. That's what I think we can see out of Cam Newton. I'm not going to buy into him being top 12 again. And this is why. His weapons are, in Carolina, back when he was a baller, they had some solid weapons. He does love using a tight end, just like Tom Brady, so the system would be catered to him. But, in fact, the system is kind of, have Tom Brady stand there in the fucking pocket, look, throw the ball. Cam Newton doesn't do that. He rolls out of the pocket. He runs around, and he throws the ball, and he runs the ball. That's something Cam Newton doesn't do. So if Bill Belichick can institute a system to help him, I think that Cam Newton would be much better than what I think right now. But the offense is worse than what we saw when Cam Newton was kind of balling out of control. Julian Edelman, N'Keal Harry, Mohamed Sanu are the starting wide receivers. Those guys are pretty good. I'm not saying that they're fucking shit or anything. I think they're an average core with N'Keal Harry having the chance to break out. I think this helps N'Keal Harry's breakout, and I think Cam Newton actually helps the offense more than he helps himself being a top-tier quarterback in fantasy football. He obviously has that safety blanket in Julian Edelman. Running back, Sony Michel, James White. James White is going to get a zillion fucking dump-offs. 2018 was when we really saw Christian McCaffrey go onto the scene. James White has the pass-catching ability, not necessarily up to the level of Christian McCaffrey, because Christian McCaffrey is pretty much a running back and wide receiver combined. James White isn't that, but James White will be getting a lot of dump-offs from him. Their tight ends, they got Matt LaCosse and the other 12 tight ends that Bill Belichick ended up drafting during the draft instead of addressing the quarterback position, but I guess he knew what to do, and he got Cam Newton. So my verdict overall on Cam Newton, I'd love to know what you guys think about Cam Newton down below in the comment section, because it is a very confusing thing to try to figure out right now in June. So I think my verdict is Cam Newton gets overdrafted. People are going to see Cam Newton and think of the past. Think about how great he was, and then overdraft him because Bill Belichick is his coach. That's probably going to happen. He's going to be getting drafted far too high. Now, I am not someone who comes in here making this video with the opinion that I hate Cam Newton or something like that. I don't actually dislike Cam Newton. I like his character. He's a pretty fucking funny guy. To be honest with you, he wears those weird hats before the games and types in calligraphy on Instagram, and you can't even understand him. So I have no bias against Cam Newton. There's a lot of people, actually, that have a strong bias for Cam. So there's no one in the middle. Everyone either fucking hates Cam or they love Cam. It's one or the other. There's no one in the middle saying, hey, he'll probably be okay. And that's actually where I am, in the okay range. I think he finishes as a middling quarterback too. What that means is like quarterback 2 is after, well, if you're in a 10-team league, it's 10 plus because the top 10 are a quarterback 1 12-team league, 12 before 1 through 12, and then a 14-team league 1 through 14. So I think he's like quarterback 18 on the year, but I think he does have top 5 upside against good matchups because the Patriots are still going to be good. So obviously the biggest worry with Cam Newton right now is that we have no fucking idea if he is going to be the starter. ESPN.com lists him as the starter on their depth chart, but that's not an official depth chart. Bill Belichick didn't write that in, so I have no idea if he is going to be the starter. This video is presuming that he is. So if he is, I believe a top 20 quarterback is in line for Cam Newton. Nothing super special, but he's not going to shit the bed like most people probably believe he will end up doing in 2020. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you enjoyed my analysis of Cam Newton, let me know down below. What is your guys' opinion on Cam Newton? And did you watch my video yesterday about Cam Newton? Because I think it might be interesting to watch now. Me be kind of pissed off that they picked up fucking Cam Newton because I'm a Dolphins fan, and even though I don't think Cam Newton is necessarily the best quarterback to ever grace the NFL, he's probably better than Jarrett Stidham. So thank you guys all for watching. I love each and every single one of you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow with yet another banger of a video. It is a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. as always, click that subscribe button. I love you. Goodbye. Also, my brand new draft guide is going to be coming very, very soon. As you guys are watching this, we're just a few days out from the drop, so I would really appreciate if you guys remember that that is going to be coming, because if you made it this far into the video, you are probably a super elite person. I love you guys. Goodbye.